Mimamsu is a desktop application to create data object relationship map of relational database, create data set from relational database using the map, create and append statistics to the data set, as well as subset and or filter the data set. So now let's walk through the application with an example. In this example, we have two databases, or rather two schemas on MySQL. We will use UserDB schema to store data sets, analysis, and subset tables. And we'll map tables and views in HR schema in terms of objects and attributes. For example, we'll map employee tables as employee data object, department table as department data object, and we'll map table for EMPD-EPT relationship data object, which relates employee and department data objects. So now I'll start the application. First, we'll create a data object relationship map using Dorm Studio. We select UserDB as my database space, where we'll be storing data sets, analysis, and subset tables. And we'll select HR database. We can map tables and columns as objects and attributes two ways, using individual interface for all four types of objects, or we can use automap as well. We'll do both ways. First, we'll create a data object using the interface. So if you look at the map, it has the department data object added. You can also view the details of a data object by selecting it. It shows the database and table as well as the columns mapped as department data object. Now we'll run automap. Tables and columns with standard names will be mapped as data object and relationship data object components. So it has mapped one data object and one relationship data object. If you look at the map, it has two data objects now and a relationship data object relating the two. We'll use this map to create a store. Store created successfully. Now we'll open the store and create a data element selection. Say we create a selection salary data. On the left hand side we have the data objects mapped, department and employee. We'll select department name, manager, first name, last name, employee, first name, last name, salary. I will run the selection to create the data set. Selection run completed successfully. Now we work with the data set. Let's open the data set. It contains the data elements to be selected and the object IDs, in this case department ID and employee ID. You can use analysis tool to create and append statistics. Let's say we create maximum salary by department. Select max function. We'll group by department. So we formulated and added the statistic to the list. Now we'll run the statistic, ran and saved in a table. Maximum salary by department IDs. You can append the statistic to the data set. Appended, so now the data set contains statistics as well as the originally selected data elements. We can also create new statistic using the statistic we just created in other data elements. Say for example, we say salary difference from max salary, select maximum salary, create an expression, maximum salary minus employee salary. We'll run and append the statistic. So the data set contains two statistics and the originally selected elements. We have the statistic appended to the data set. You can also view object relationship summary of the data set. The summary shows at the top total number of data objects. In this case, we have 11 departments and 107 employees. At the bottom, it shows from left to right in descending order related object counts. So for example, in the left first box, it shows we have 106 employees and 11 departments related to each other. And we have one employee which is not related to any department. You can also view a detail of any of the subset of this summary by selecting the box. Say we select this box. It shows that this subset contains department and employee data objects and its attributes. It also adds the subset to dataset tool where we can preview and save the subset as a table. So if you go to dataset tool, it has the subset added. You can preview it. You can save it as a table. It has been saved. We can also rerun the entire process, including the pulling the data, creating the statistics and creating the subset by doing the rerun of the selection. Let's say if we do rerun, prompt for a new description, we add version 2, rerun completed successfully. If we open the data set, just pull the data again, appended the statistics. And if you go to dataset tool, it has created the subset as well. We can also export the subset table in a CSV file. Similarly, we can export any of the statistics we just created in a CSV file. We can also export the entire dataset with statistics appended as a CSV file. So if we export to the desktop, it exports two files, a data file and a metadata file. So if we look at the exit the application and look at the exported files. So the data file containing the entire data set and metadata file. It contains metadata for all the columns in data file. So IQATTR name column contains all the column names in the data file, and rest of the column contains metadata about the data in terms of the database and table the columns comes from, as well as in terms of objects and attributes, as well as if there is any statistic the dataset contains, then the formula for the calculation of the statistic also is saved in the metadata file.